When I was in high school, my friends and I went out to a really remote spot in the mountains to camp. Just to get there, you needed a pretty serious off-roader. It was about 30 miles up a super rough road. There were river crossings, huge boulders in the road, and tons of sand pits. This road took us all day, and all day, we didn't see a single other person. No one passed us. We didn't see anyone camping. Nothing. At one point, one of my friends noted it looked like no one had ever driven on the road in a while, which was weird because this was in Colorado and trails like this are really popular. Something worth pointing out. This road led into a box canyon, which is basically nature's cul-de-sac. The road we were on was the only road in and the only road out. All around us was massive cliffs. And another thing, we were deep in the mountains, far from any cell service. On top of that, we were in a box canyon, which even if you're next to a city, never has service. All that said, we eventually got to the spot and set up camp. Every time we went camping, we played capture the flag. This trip was no exception. We waited for it to get dark, then started. In the middle of the second round, me and one of my friends on my team hop up on the road, which ran parallel to the road we were playing in. It seemed like a good way to get around to the other flag. Walking down the road, we began to see a glow coming towards us. Our first thought was it's another 4x4 coming towards us. But as it got closer, we realized it was a young woman holding up her phone, looking for service. She was still at a distance, but we could tell she was panicky. She was rushing and stumbling at the same time. She didn't seem drunk. It was weird. We called out, "Hello? Hello? Hello?" No response. But it wasn't just that she ignored us. It was more like she didn't even realize we were there. We tried again. You okay? Nothing. As she's passing us, we realize she's crying. Again. You okay? She stumbles right past us, never showing a single sign that she saw us. The whole time, just looking at her phone for service. My friend and I are frozen. We watch her go, still stumbling, still crying. She rounded a turn, then disappeared. I yell out to everyone else to meet back at camp, and we do. I tell them what we saw, and I'm not proud to admit this, because it seemed like she needed help. But we got creeped out. We said we'd stay in camp that night, and in the morning, we'd go looking. The first thing we do in the morning is decide there must be some other people camped down the road. They must know her, so we go down to the end of the road. There's no sign of anyone. Then we decided to go to the entrance of the road and look for the woman. So we drive to the entrance, which took all day. Nothing. I still feel guilty for not trying to help her. But thinking about how she got in that position just doesn't make sense. She didn't look like a hiker. She had on regular jeans and a sweater. If she had gotten in the canyon from the other side, it would require a very technical route. She would have needed gear, and she didn't even have a backpack. We were pretty sure we were the only ones that had driven down that road in a while. so it's not like someone dropped her off or left her. And the whole time we saw her, she was holding up her phone, looking for service. If she knew the area at all, she would know there was no way she was going to find service. I don't know what to make of it, but I do know that the image of that woman stumbling in the dark, crying, has been seared in my brain ever since. I wish I could have done something different. Or maybe I saved my own life. So me and my friends, Aaron and Noah, who were all 19 at the time, had been meaning to go on a camping trip in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. We had heard the rumors of how haunted the area was, which had immediately caught our interest, as we had intended to go on a camping trip with the intention of hopefully finding something spooky or paranormal. It was also not too far away from us, as we lived in Boston, so it was only around a 5-hour drive. For a bit of context, me and my friends had known each other for around 4 months, as we had all just started attending the same college, and all 3 of us shared a dorm together. I got to know them pretty quickly and became quite close with them. Both Aaron and Noah had previously known each other from high school, so I was just kind of the guy to them. However, they would both always talk about how they were into the big paranormal scene and very interested in investigating sometime. I'm also very interested in the paranormal, and me and one of my close friends from high school actually went investigating at some local attractions previously. So Aaron and Noah both suggested that over the winter break, we should all go camping and do some investigating for ourselves. They suggested we should go camping in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, as it is widely regarded as haunted, and there are many ghost stories from that area. So we all agreed, and I asked if I could bring my friend from high school that I had been previously investigating with, as we'd both been talking about meeting up for a trip sometime. So my friend, Ryan, agreed for this trip. We made a group chat for the planning. So cut to winter break. We all were excited, and Ryan had met Aaron and Noah prior to this trip, so he wasn't going camping with 2 strangers. We left around 3 p.m., which was kinda late considering it got dark around 5 p.m. since it was winter. But Aaron insisted we didn't leave too early. He blamed it on not being a morning person, which was immediately strange, as he had always been the first to get up each morning and had never previously mentioned anything about it. But at the time, I didn't think too much into it. Around 3 hours into our drive, it was already pitch black out, and we still had another 2 hours left to kill, which Ryan was complaining about, as it was only meant to be a 1-night camping trip, and it now felt like it was going to be shortened down. Aaron and Noah didn't seem to care. However, they were still saying it was going to be a good trip. Keep in mind, Noah was driving, which will be important later. We were now about an hour away from arriving, and we were literally in the middle of nowhere. Noah insisted on stopping at this random one-way road so he could go take a leak, and Aaron said he would go with him. 5 minutes had passed, and me and Ryan were just having a conversation and talking about how we were kind of mad that we still hadn't arrived yet. Considering how late it was, another 5 minutes passed, and we started to get concerned as to how long both Aaron and Noah had been away for. We both agreed to go out and check. We got out of the car and proceeded to call their names, but there was no response. We weren't too worried, as we both kind of collectively thought they were just trying to scare us. So we decided to get in and wait another 10 minutes or so, as they would likely get bored or cold, or both, and just come back to the car. Keep in mind, Noah still had the car keys with him, so we were both getting pretty annoyed, considering we were already hours late. After another 10 minutes had passed, there was no sign of Noah or Aaron, so we started to get a little creeped out. We got out of the car, yet again, only to be met with the sound of the car's doors locking as we got out, ultimately locking us out of the car and trapping us in the freezing cold. We both just looked at each other, visibly annoyed, as Noah and Aaron surely had to be playing a joke on us, since the car locked, so someone had the keys and was nearby doing that to the car. So we both decided to go together and walk in the same direction that they went to take a leak in. But keep in mind that the road was surrounded by trees, so it's not like we could just see them hiding behind a bush or something. So we both walked into the woods quite far, to the point the car wasn't visible anymore, and all of a sudden, we heard a chainsaw start up to our left, and there was a guy in a black hoodie running towards us with a chainsaw. We both sprinted back towards the direction of the car, and once we got to the road, the car had disappeared. It was the exact same piece of road in which we were parked, as there was a very distinguishable shaped boulder not too far from the road that was very recognizable, so we knew we were in the right spot. Both me and Ryan agreed to run along the road, hoping to run into a car or maybe a house, but we still could hear the chainsaw in the distance, thankfully, and ran into someone driving along the road. We stopped him and explained our situation, and he agreed to give us a ride to a more populated area, as there was apparently a small town not too far away. We arrived at the town and called the police and told them everything that happened. They put out a search for both Aaron and Noah, as they assumed to be either in danger or missing, as if the car was gone, then someone would have had to take the keys off of them. We gave the police their information, but they were confused, as nothing came up for either of them. I then explained how they also attended the same college as me, and they were my roommates, but that was all I really knew. The officer said that was enough for the night, and they were able to transport us back home to Boston, and we would be questioned tomorrow. However, by the time we got back to the dorm room, all of Noah and Aaron's belongings were gone. There was not a trace of them in the dorm room. It was as if they never lived there or had moved out. When the police officer arrived for further questioning, he discovered there was no record of Aaron and Noah ever attending the college, and he became suspicious of us. A sick feeling filled my stomach as I realized what was really going on. Aaron and Noah must have lured me and Ryan out to try and murder us, using fake names and pretending to attend a college for months to gain my trust. I don't know if there will be any updates, as I don't know if they will ever find those people that pretended to be our friends. If the police do come to any conclusions, I will post an update. This happened on a trip a few years ago, one night midweek, when the park is usually quieter. I woke up having to use the bathroom around 2 a.m., so I left the trailer to go to the comfort stations. The site was one of those corner sites, so there's really a short trail in the back of the site through the woods before you get to the lights where the washroom is. You can technically go around the front, but I figured I would just cut through there like I usually do to save time, because I was tired. As I'm passing the middle of the trail, I hear a light noise. It sounds like it's right beside my ear, It sounded like giggling. So I picked up the pace a little bit and stared, looking for a raccoon or porcupine or something, but I couldn't see anything or hear any twigs cracking, which I thought was weird. No sign of a person out there either. As soon as the last thought crossed my mind, I swear to this day that I heard something deeper in the woods, and a female voice say,
Hello.
To say I jumped was an understatement. I sprinted full throttle to the lights, tripped on a log, and ripped my pants leg and shin. I made it to the bathrooms alive, feeling painful and kind of stupid. Once I made it to the comfort station, I did my business and talked myself out of it being anything unnatural, like the good biologist that I am. I figured I must have just misheard a raccoon or something. I didn't really believe in the paranormal, so worst case, it was an actual person. I didn't feel like getting jumped by some weirdo while I'm out at night by myself. So, I made the decision to take the longer way back in the open road and skip the shortcut. As I passed by the entranceway for the woods, giving it a wide berth if we're being honest, I can only tell you what I heard, but I swear, as clear as day, I heard a whisper that said, "Come back." That's the fastest I've ever run in my life. I'm a little embarrassed to say I don't do camp bathrooms at night by myself anymore, but I can't explain what happened. Luckily, my family got a new trailer the following season with an indoor bathroom, so it hasn't been an issue since.